We truly do.
right? And we're
Mhm.
live. You know, the average American college student graduates with debt. Some parents are still paying for their children's college education after they retire and probably even their own. Let that sink in. You can work for 40 years, save for retirement, do everything they told you to do, and still be making college payments in your 60s and in your 70s.
Mm.
Here's the
Yeah,
question.
true.
What if the biggest decision most families make is starting with the wrong map? What if we've been looking at 50 states as opposed to 50 countries? Huh? That's what we're going to talk about tonight. Right, Rick?
Oh, yeah. So tonight we're going to discuss why college costs have exploded in the United States, why so many parents are borrowing alongside of their children. You know, the history of publicly funded higher education and what happens when universities become more accessible, and why other countries still approach higher education differently.
Hmm.
And we're going to give a list of universities across Western Europe that offers English taught degree programs. For real.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. So, for those of you who are new here, hey, y'all. My name's Halisi. Welcome.
And I'm Rick.
Go
Welcome
ahead.
to our Black Utopia.
On our channel, we talk about money. We talk, y'all. Our meetup started. Okay, we were at the Sangria Society earlier today, so show us a little grace today. Show us a little grace. All right. On our channel, we talk about money, we talk about travel, and we talk about life abroad. We help folks who look like us, who are getting close to retirement age and may have forgot to plan, get their money straight so that they can retire on time or maybe even early.
And abroad ain't bad either.
You see how I wait for him to say his little catch lines? So, for those of you who are new to our channel, you might not know back in 2018, we got a wake up call, y'all. We looked at our money and it looked crazy.
Crazy.
But we were getting close to retirement age. And so, look, we got our financial act together and we went from negative 22,000 to over 1.1 million in net worth. And y'all, if we can do that,
You can
you
do
can
it
do it
too.
too, right? Now we live in Lisbon, Portugal. Now we help people explore options. We help people live their dream lives. We help people build their own Black utopias. And tonight is one of those options.
Yes. So let's hear from you. If you had a high school senior in your family today, would you even consider looking outside of the United States? Why or why not? Drop it in the chat.
That's right. That's right. All right. Let's see what you guys are talking about. I know half the folks who would be in our chat are here in Lisbon, Portugal, because our meetup is going on. We had like 75 people at this restaurant, y'all. I don't think, see, the restaurant we go to that we usually go to is under new management. I think they just bought it about 2 months ago, 3 months ago. And it's not like we go every week. We go about every 6 weeks or so. So they had the first taste of us last month, but that was just a small,
Yeah, that was
now
a
of course
small
with the
gathering.
meetup people and us.
Yeah, they were moving tables and chairs and oh my
And
God.
rearranging. I think we had about 75 people out there on that patio, did we? It was
Yeah.
amazing. It was amazing. So we'll post some stuff in our Instagram, you guys. Okay, let's get back to it. We will post some stuff in our Instagram. So if you are following us on IG, then you will see the information. All right. Let's get to it. College debt crisis. Okay, because it's out of control. And the thing about it is, we talk about money here, and I know that our core audience, probably a good portion of them, already have kids that are out of college, but you have grandkids, and and then some of you have kids that are just now starting to think about college, right? And When we coach people and they start saying stuff like, well, we can't do X, Y, and Z because of the cost of college. This is for you. This is for you, right? Because the average student loan balance is what, sweetheart? Do you see that?
40,000. $40,000.
40,000, the average, that's the average, but we know a lot of people who have much more than that. And then a lot of us were sucked into doing those Parent Plus loans. That was the biggest scam. I swear I didn't do that. Thank God. Thank God. Because when our youngest got into college, I had sticker shock. I had no idea it had gotten this bad, right? And with all this debt, what we see is folks delaying home ownership, delaying
Yeah,
investing, delaying retirement. And see,
yeah.
that's what they want. They want you slave to these jobs. That's what they want.
And the crazy thing is, going on to point two is college was not always this expensive. It
Yes,
just
it was.
wasn't. Many places, universities were once heavily subsidized. Didn't Reagan come up and
Heavily.
mess that stuff up?
Yes, 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 yes,
Some
yes.
of them.
Oh my gosh. So two of our friends who are here, and they were telling us how they were at this table with this couple, this couple, black and Mexican couple, who, and they found out two hours in that they were Trumpers. Like, and why do I bring this up? Because everything is politics, you guys. Everything is politics. So when I grew up in California, and when I grew up in California, it was in the heyday of I think it was Governor Brown. I think it was Governor Brown who instituted the California Master Education Plan. Okay. And before that, it was just kind of hodgepodge, but he put together a 3-point plan: the UC system, UC Berkeley, UCLA, et cetera, the CU system, um, Cal State Northridge, Cal State LA, et cetera, Cal State San Francisco, et cetera, and the community college system, which was supposed to be and still is basically free. So you could get an
Mhm.
AA degree in California for free. I thought it was like that everywhere, y'all. The government
Mm.
heavily, heavily, heavily subsidized the public higher education system. And he believed that and obviously the legislature too in that time, that to have an educated population was to have a better population, to have a stronger population, et cetera, et cetera. The melon felon, y'all's president, he believes he believes that he likes the uneducated. He done said that. He
He
likes the
he wanted
uneducated.
everybody dumb like him.
Exactly, exactly. So this was the 1960s, you guys. The government heavily invested in education. The GI Bill was there. I know that all of us did not get the GI Bill, but some of us did, and a lot of us do
Yeah.
now. And after the 60s, of course, um, college as a pathway to national development was the theme back in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
But the question nobody wants to ask:
Nobody wants to ask who
who
was
was college
college
for?
for? Yeah, who was it for? Who benefit who benefited from public investment?
And what happened during the civil rights era?
Hey,
They could no
night.
longer discriminate. So
Um,
you've got a system that is basically free. And what's not free, you've got 0% loans. Yes, yes. My mommy and daddy had 0% student loans. That was the interest rate. And then you had Pell Grants. Anybody who could get in, money was not going to be an issue keeping you out back in those days.
yeah.
And what happened? The Black middle class came back. Yes, came back because we had it before. They started destroying our stuff and doing this fake integration crap. Okay. It wasn't integration, it was just desegregation. That's all it was. Right. That's another topic for another day.
Mhm.
So you can see like the positive stuff. And then boom, 1973 to 1980, federal policy entered like austere period, with higher education increasingly expected to be paid for by whom? And so they started doing a little bit more with student aid as opposed to giving the money to the universities. And I want to say that the private system did some lawsuits back in those days saying the money should not be tied to the institution but to the student. See, they think they're slick. They think they're slick. Now everybody's in debt. In the 70s, people didn't have student debt like this. And again, you had 0% interest. So, it's interesting to me that as soon as poor folk, Black folk, indigenous folk, women, et cetera, immigrants, everybody started being able to go to college and build a lifestyle
Mm.
that competes with them, all of a sudden, they start taking back the money that they were investing in public education at the same time that these institutions are trying to integrate technology.
Yeah.
It's a perfect storm, but they knew exactly what the hell they were doing. And they knew why they were doing it, because they looked around and they saw all these, what did they call us? Uppity Negroes.
Uppity Negroes.
What do they call us? Right? They saw these uppity Negroes. And the future Michelle Obama's, I'm not going to say Barack because his dad was from another country. But yeah, that too, right? His dad would not have been able to come in and go to school had it not been for some of these laws and for some of these investments.
Yeah.
So if policy can create racial disparities, then those disparities are known and those disparities are not corrected, then they can't say that it's not racism. Of course it's racism. We know it's racism. We know it's racism. Just because when they started freezing Pell Grants and this and that and the other, just because it didn't say Black folks on it, once they figured out who it was affecting,
Yeah, they put it in that.
Studies, right? They had their little studies and they did nothing about it. Then they said, then what? The only thing to conclude is they're okay with the racism. They're okay with it. So fine, we need to start thinking differently, right? We need to start thinking differently, because the bottom line is an education is an education.
Yeah. I mean, and the part that really blows my mind is most Americans never ask whether college must be in America.
That's right. They compare Alabama to Florida.
Yep. Howard to Spelman.
Right. Or to Morehouse, right? Instead, they barely and rarely ask, what about the rest of the world?
Yeah, how they doing this stuff? What are they doing?
You guys, for the price of a good used car, you could send your kid to college for all 4 years. Bunk that $100,000, $50,000 a year stuff. Okay? Bunk that. And why? Why would you pin your hopes on a nation that is obviously in decline? Why? It makes no sense. So this is available in the description below. We have put this together for you. Even if the majority of the people we know, all their kids are already out of college. We have quite a few clients whose kids are getting ready to or are in college. But everybody got grandkids, nieces and nephews and stuff like that, right? This is important because what we are talking about is generational wealth, you all. We're talking about generational wealth. And you can't build generational wealth if once you get educated so that you can get, the position that you want, you come out with 40, 50, 60, 70, $100,000 in debt. That makes no sense. Nor does it make sense when we know that African Americans are already underpaid. Black women get what, 67, 68 cents to a white man's dollar. And I think black men, 72 cents, something like that. Haven't 74 cents. Haven't done those statistics in a while, but if memory serves me. And so, and yet we are expected to save for retirement the same way that white men can save for retirement
Right.
and put our kids through school the same way white folk can put their kids through school. And if not, we don't handle our money correctly. Maybe the system is just effed up. How about that? Because you cannot create a situation where folks are already making 40% less than the average yoo-hoo white entitled and competent male, and then ask for that person to have the same results as they do. But they do. And we are Black folks. And so we figured that shit out, right? We figure it out. And here's the solution. Look at this. Germany, you can go to school for $170 a year. That's fees. That's what that is. And it's taught in English. Okay. Free University of Berlin is $340 a year, which is hilarious that it's called the Free University. That's hilarious, and it's more expensive than LMU, right? University of Lisbon, 1,000 to 3,500. We've been telling you guys this.
Mm-hmm.
We've been telling you guys this. You can get a master's degree here for about $5,000. I'm still paying for my master's. Well, I'm not this year. I'm back to 0% payments. But the fact that I still owe, and I'm getting close to being able to qualify for Social Security, that's ridiculous.
Well, wait a minute. Isn't it also the easiest way to get a visa is to go through education?
Yes, a student visa is probably, if you can get in, and because a lot of these, if you want to immigrate to a country and learn their language and get into a certified program, that could qualify you for a student visa where you do not have to qualify money wise. Because
Right.
for some people, for the digital nomad visas tend to be a lot more higher financial qualification than a retirement or passive income visa. They're assuming that you are still working, and so on average, what we've seen is between $3,000 and $5,000 you're supposed to be bringing in per month. Now, $36,000 a year obviously that's not hard to do, but if you don't have to qualify financially and you're going to go to school anyway, or you want to learn the language anyway, why go through all that rigmarole when you know that you have enough money to take care of yourself in that new country, right? So this can be for adults too. This can be for adults too. There's so many adults here who are talking about, because it's so inexpensive, they don't need no master's degree. These people already got money. Maybe I'll get a master's degree. There was a time when only white folks could learn just for the sake of learning, right? But at these prices, a person can learn just for the sake of learning.
Mm.
And that is privilege, right? That's privilege. This is 3 pages long, you guys. All right. The University of Coimbra, one of the oldest universities in all of Europe, has some programs at the master's level that are taught in English. Okay. Barcelona, Madrid, Bologna, Pisa, Italy. Come on, y'all. Y'all, come on. If you told your kid they could go to school in Madrid, Spain, unless you go to HBCU, that, like, to me, it's HBCU or out of the country. And an HBCU is going to set you back. The good ones, right? They're going to set you back. But I understand. So anybody who's going to HBCU gets a pass, but otherwise, and then even if they go to an HBCU for undergrad, go for their master's here, right? At these prices, you can get 2, 3, 4 masters at the same time.
Mm.
Right? Look at these prices.
Yeah.
Even Belgium at 8,500 a year is nothing compared. So that's 8,500 euro. That's about $10,000 a year. That's you can't find a university in America anymore that's as cheap, that's that cheap. Can you? Maybe undergrad, maybe those like Metro is less than $10,000 a year. So Metro in Denver is it was just a college. I think it's a university now. They offer a
Yeah.
couple of programs. But it was one of those schools that if you had a certain GPA, you got in. And I think the GPA only had to be like a 2.5. 2.5, you get in. So it's a good school. They had good professors. I'm not saying that, but those schools tend to be less expensive because you're not going for prestige. You're going strictly for the education, not the education and prestige. A lot of these schools have prestige. Okay. And so I've got this list for you. I'm going to take this off screen because we don't need to go through every single one, but I wanted to give you guys a feel of what is possible, right? Our goal is to talk about choices when it comes to getting to financial freedom, right? And not allowing a system that was built to keep us enslaved to labor to stop us from retiring at a reasonable age. And to me, a reasonable age is like 50. That's enough. That's enough. I don't know about y'all, but I had a job at 15 years old. And before that, I was babysitting and all of that, right? So a job since I was 15 years old, 15, 25, 35, 45, 55, 55, that's 40 years of work. That's enough. When do we get to play? When do we get to have fun as adults? If you do your money right, then you can have fun sooner than later.
Yes.
Because we're going to have fun. Even with broken legs and all that, we have fun, right?
Yeah. We had a great time today.
Right. So put this in the chat. Would you recommend for your children or grandchildren to go to university outside of the United States? Let us know in the chat. If you're watching from the future, hey, if you're watching on LinkedIn, hey there. Hope you're enjoying it. Let us know in the comments if you would suggest to your children or grandchildren and your children's children, right? If they should go to school or consider going to school outside of the United States. I think we need to think more broadly. And I think our kids would get a much richer experience outside of the United States if they're not going to an HBCU, especially if they're only thinking about predominantly white institutions. Then you might as well come on over to Europe and not pay all that money if you're going to go to a PWI any old way, right? Because what we are talking about here is not getting into lifelong debt to get the knowledge that you need to get the positions that you want to live the life that you want. It's so goofy when you think about it that way, isn't it? It's goofy. So if money is the thing, we got you, because sometimes it's not the amount of money you make, it's the amount of money you spend. We have a financial freedom program for late bloomers like ourselves. Everything that we learned to go from negative 22,000 to over 1.1 million in net worth is in that program. It's called Beyond the Bling, our financial freedom program for late bloomers. And that information is in the description below. Our side hustle challenge is starting second week in July. This is our fifth cohort or something like that. I think we're only taking 25 participants. And I know we're already halfway full. We have a information session on, I want to say the 20th. That information also is in the description below. I was going to grab it, but I am not going to. And I don't think any of our lovely volunteers are in the chat today because half of them are at this meetup, are trying to catch up with the people who are at the meetup and see what's happening at the meetup, et cetera, et cetera. And it's so funny because it's so funny, y'all, because some folks were saying, I know we're driving you crazy, but please, please, please don't let us make you not do this anymore. Because we build community. That's what they're talking about. That's what they find so appealing. And when you're moving abroad, when you're living abroad, the best way to make sure that you have the kind of life you want is to be in community. Seriously. If you want to
Yeah.
accomplish anything, actually, you need to be in community. And that's what the Side Hustle Challenge cohorts are all about because it's a 10-week program. We start you from ideation all the way to launch. All right, let's make this money. And we want you to be able to make money without borders. Okay? Without borders. So we have an information session June 20th. That information is in the description below. It comes with weekly group coaching. There's deliverables every single week. So if you ain't got time, you ain't got time. Maybe now's not the time. Okay. But if you want to be successful, there are deliverables every single week. And then you're like, okay, 10 weeks, that's great. But we got you for the next year. Monthly group coaching for the next year to make sure that you are steady and on pace and that your business is launched successfully. Right, Rick? And so we got your back. We got your back. All of that information is in the description below. We have events every single day until next Saturday, y'all. And I'm trying to roll around with this broken leg.
She's rolling on them cobblestones. Hey, she's better than me. I couldn't roll on them cobblestones.
You do what you have to do. But we had a great time today, you guys. Everybody who showed up, thank you guys. Hey,
yeah,
if you're watching,
it was a beautiful day today.
It
was on the warm
everybody
side,
at the water. It was 90 degrees, y'all.
It was so nice, so nice.
It was 90 degrees, but we were at the bay. This part is the bay, and so where we sit, it's all you can see is water for 180 degrees. It's really a lovely location. And so we were all out there taking over, y'all. We was taking over. I told the restaurant owner he ain't know. Huh, Rick? He ain't know.
No.
He ain't know.
They don't believe us half the time.
They do not believe us. Because we bring the money. We bring the money to the locals. All of these are locally owned places. We've been going to this place for 4 years and it just changed management. So these new people don't know. And since the quality of their food and drinks are on par with the last place, we're like, hey, we'll keep coming back. When we come in large groups. Just know that. Get ready. And when we came, there was only like 6 of us here. I said we're going to have about.
I kept telling him. Yeah, I kept telling him the manager.
One table over. I was like.
Yeah, I said, you're going to probably have to fill all that area over there up, but they'll be here. I said, give them a little bit after 3 o'clock, it'll be packed. And it was. We had them running. I think we made their week, y'all. We made their week. So, if you are in the chat and you've done the Side Hustle Challenge before, let them know. Not even a broken leg can keep Alicia down. I'm trying, y'all. I am trying. When the pain started, I told Rick, I said, it's time to go. We got to go so I can rest up and be here for y'all. We will be here on Sunday as well with some of the folks from the meetup, and we will have some pictures and things like that from the activities that have happened so far, because that'll be the 4th day of the meetup. The official events haven't even started yet. The official events haven't even started yet. And people are already, that you could just see it on their faces, just having a ball. And so that makes us happy. And that makes it all worth it, LaRonda, because, I would much rather be convalescing with this broken leg
but seeing all the smiling faces and seeing the appreciation makes it all worth it. Don't you think so,
Yeah.
Rick? It
Yes,
really does.
definitely.
We love you guys. We love you guys. We get our energy from you. We really do.
Yes, we do.
Because, honey, I would be in this bed. I'm telling you, I would be in the bed. But, duty calls. And I was so glad that I rolled my behind out there. And like I said, I think he said there were much more than 60 people. He said there were more. I said, "You think so?" He said, "Yes." I was like, this is what we do. This is what we do. So tomorrow we're going to be doing the street festivals. We'll probably go live on Instagram. So follow us on Instagram. I'm gonna just go to our neighborhood one because I ain't rolling down these streets. I know I would break something else, and I'm not trying to do that. So I'm just gonna go to our neighborhood one that's just right there. Rick is gonna go a little further, and Action VJ
Yeah.
is gonna go all the way. And so we're going to be going live from on Instagram tomorrow. So hopefully you're following us and you'll get to see a little bit of the meetup activities. All right, y'all, we're going to let you
Yeah.
go. We love you guys. Anything you want to add, Ricky?
No. Hey, don't forget the merch store. It was great seeing people with merch,
It really
hats
was.
and
It
stuff
was
like that. So
so
that was
friggin'
so
cool,
cool. Yeah. That was
right?
awesome.
It really was. All right. You got the outro, sweets?
Let me
I got
grab
it.
it.
I got it.
Not a dream, a destination. Our black utopia.